Hello, friends, and welcome to Plant the Change Straight Talk, empowering the next generation to grow into conscious, compassionate citizens of the world. Today's episode is called Lunchtime Liberation. And yes, we're talking about school lunches, but not just the food. We're talking about the culture around food, the values we're teaching our kids without even realizing it, and why what we put in their lunchbox might be doing a lot more than just fueling their bodies. Because food is never just food. It's information, it's identity, it's education, and it's an opportunity to align with what we say we value: compassion, health, and justice. So let's get into it. Whether we realize it or not, every lunch sends a message. You send a Lunchable with cold cuts and string cheese, that sends a message. You send carrots, hummus, and a tofu wrap, that sends a message. And I am not here trying to shame anybody for what they're feeding their child. I know what it's like to be overwhelmed, to be on a budget, or to pack food in a rush. But this isn't about being perfect. We've got to start getting honest about the fact that food is not neutral. It tells our kids what's normal, what deserves compassion and what doesn't, who has access to health and who doesn't. When we send food loaded with preservatives, added sugars, and processed meat into schools, we're normalizing a food culture that is making kids sick and disconnected. What would it look like if the lunchbox became a tool for liberation, not just tradition? Let me tell you a little bit about how this changed me. When I first went plant-based, it wasn't for health. It was for ethics. It was because I couldn't reconcile my values with my food choices. I had MS, I was sick, I was declining. And the day I removed dairy because I didn't want to be complicit in cruelty was when my health shifted dramatically. And let me tell you, that moment was powerful, not just because I felt better, because it literally showed me how connected everything is: our values, our health, our children, and our classrooms. So when I looked at the food being served in schools, even schools that talked about compassion or sustainability or inclusion, and I saw hamburgers, chicken fingers, and chocolate milk on the menu, I couldn't unsee the gap. We say we want kids to be kind, but what are we feeding them? We say we want kids to be healthy, but what are we normalizing? We say we want a better planet, but what kind of food systems are we modeling? I realized that we needed a different path, not just for my own family, but for the kids that I was responsible for every day at the school I started. And so we changed everything. We built an entirely plant-based kitchen. And let me tell you something, we are not serving carrot sticks and shame. We're serving real food, familiar food, and fun food. Because plant-based eating isn't about restriction, it's about liberation. Since going fully plant-based at Solid Rock Community School, we've seen fewer digestive complaints, more curiosity about ingredients and food systems, more inclusion for kids with allergies and dietary needs. Kids who have never eaten tofu now ask for it. Kids who literally thought vegetables were gross now eat them without a second thought. Why? Why? Because we normalized it here. We made it normal. We made it delicious. We made it inclusive. And just as important as what we serve is what we teach. We use lunch as a learning experience too. How does food impact the environment? What does it mean to eat compassionately? How do our choices affect the climate, water use, and waste? I'm not saying that every school is ready to go fully plant-based, but I'm saying we all need to be asking better questions. What are we teaching through our food? What kind of food systems are we supporting? What are we willing to normalize just because it's convenient or familiar? If you're a school leader and you can't do a fully plant-based kitchen, Start by offering plant-based options. Normalize them, feature them, and make them exciting. Introduce them with taste tests or theme days. Get your students' council involved. Ask students what they want to see on the menu. Make it a student-led movement. If you're a teacher, start or advocate for meatless Mondays or meatless some days. Bring food literacy into science, health, and even social studies. Partner with a local farm. Let students write persuasive essays on food justice. Create projects that ask, what would a kind lunch program look like? And if you're a parent and your school doesn't offer plant-based options, send them, pack them, model the choice without apology. Educate your child about where food comes from and let them be proud of what they're eating. Ask your school why plant-based isn't offered and push for change. Hello, friends. You can help make a difference by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the Plant the Change podcast. And you can visit us at solidrockflorida.org to learn more about Solid Rock Community School and the sanctuary at Solid Rock. Your support makes a real impact and helps plant the change. You can also become a sanctuary subscriber on any of our social platforms. Your monthly support helps provide food, enrichment, medical care, and the daily comfort our animals depend on. For only $4.99 a month, you'll receive exclusive private posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and eligibility for fun supporter giveaways. It's a small monthly gift that makes a huge difference in the animals' lives. Please subscribe today. Parents need ideas for a healthy plant-based lunch? Here are some easy, delicious plant-based lunchbox options. Hummus and veggie wraps, chickpea salad sandwich, plant-based yogurt with fruit and granola, pasta salad with veggies and Italian dressing, vegan pizza pinwheels, fruit kebabs and edamame, sun butter and banana sandwich on whole grain bread. And let me tell you something, the health benefits, they are undeniable. Plant-based lunches support healthy digestion, better focus, lower rates of childhood obesity, decreased risk of heart disease. Yep, even in kids. Fatty streaks in arteries have been found in children and even with babies in the womb. Protection from processed meats, which the World Health Organization has classified as a Group 1 carcinogen, the same as tobacco and asbestos. We wouldn't let our kids eat something labeled Class 1 carcinogen for breakfast, would we? Or would we serve them up cigarettes? And yet lunch meats are in millions of lunchboxes every single day. Liberation also means food access, sustainability, and equity. If your school qualifies for federal lunch support, push to make sure any plant-based options are nutritious, not just bread and applesauce. Fight for food justice within your lunchroom. Advocate for low-waste packaging, compostable materials, and recycling bins where kids can see the connection between food and the planet. Let us stop calling French fries and ketchup a balanced meal. Let's stop rewarding kids with sugar and dyes. Let's stop treating food as a filler and start using it as a foundation. Lunch is a small window in a big day, but in that small window, we have the power to affirm values, reduce harm, build equity, support sustainability, empower students to make conscious choices. What we feed our children matters, not just for their bodies, but for their hearts and minds. Lunchtime Liberation isn't just about kale and quinoa. It's about the freedom to align our food with our values. It's about raising a generation that sees the connection between food, ethics, justice, sustainability, and health. And it starts with us. At Solid Rock Community School, we made the bold decision to go fully plant-based in our school kitchen, not just because it aligned with our values, but because we knew our students deserved better. We are the only school that integrates compassionate, humane education across every subject, while also operating a fully plant-based kitchen and an animal sanctuary. So we don't just teach compassion, we live it, right down to what we serve on the plate. Our students are eating black bean and sweet potato tacos, spaghetti with homemade marinara sauce, chickpea salad sandwiches and subs, stir-fried rice with veggies and tofu. And they're learning that food can fuel the mind and the body without causing harm, that justice and empathy extend to what we eat, that sustainable food choices support the planet. We've had so many students go home and influence their entire families. We've had parents email and call us asking for recipes. We've had kids who once refused and literally hated vegetables now proudly explain what jackfruit is. I will never forget when a new dad was enrolling over the summer, and he told me straight to my face, "My daughter is never going to eat any of your school food." And I said, "That's okay. You can pack a lunch." And then it was the first or second day of school when I saw her, and she was actually eating the school lunch that her dad said she would never eat. So I walked up to her, and I actually videotaped this, and I asked her how she liked the food. And she said, and I quote, "This is the most delicious food I have ever tasted." This is what happens when you give children something better. When you normalize fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, and plants as everyday food instead of alternatives, we're doing more than feeding children, we're changing the culture. Because the truth is, it's generally habits that are running in families, not disease. And when we change what's on our plate, we change what's possible for the next generation. By making compassionate, plant-powered choices, visible, joyful, and normal, we're not just improving lunches. We're planting the seeds of health, empathy, sustainability, and equity. Let's stop waiting for the system to catch up. Let's start showing our kids what it means to live what we believe, right down to the food we pack and serve. It's really not just lunch. It's a lesson. It's a value. It's a revolution, one bite at a time. Until next time, let's keep planting the change together. The Plant the Change podcast explores how education drives societal transformation, nurturing compassionate and responsible citizens, and plants the seeds of change for a better tomorrow. At Solid Rock, Florida, we're a nonprofit committed to compassionate humane education, an approach that blends academic excellence, ethical responsibility, and emotional growth. We're doing something unique, and we need your support to expand our impact and strengthen our efforts to create lasting change. Visit solidrockflorida.org and click the donate button at the top of the page to see our current initiatives. You choose where your contribution goes, and every tax-deductible donation, no matter the amount, is greatly appreciated. Show your support and stay updated on future episodes and initiatives by following Plant the Change on YouTube and Solid Rock on Facebook and Instagram, at Solid Rock Community School and